Alright, so this is the coding walkthrough for Prototype 1.0. This is the big update, as you can probably see from just how the game looks. So this update, the main feature of it is it implemented the first version of the full game map, the full Starbeast map. Um, Now, introducing the map has introduced as well a whole host of bugs and problems. So this is probably the buggiest version of the game so far, and I'll dive into more detail on that in a bit. So as you can see from the unused pillars and hovery bits, it's not the finished map, but it's getting there. This is basically a beta map version just to see how well the mechanics of the game work with the map as it should be, or closer to how it should be than the platform it was before. So the first thing I did was get the 4 orbital pillars, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and use them, put them into position and use them to traverse the map. Put one at the top there because this is the center area where you're meant to be able to go to all corners of the map. And one thing we immediately realized upon putting these orbital systems around is that they're not enough. You spin around them and glide off, but that's just, if you glide off that, it's going to take you to there. If you glide off that, you can go quite far, but it's a bit slow. So it was decided pretty early this week that we needed something else. And I'll demonstrate that something else now. Basically, an easier way to get around the map using the orbital system. So it's very, very bright, as you can probably see. The lighting is going to be adjusted. That's something the rest of the team is working on. This isn't the final lighting, which is why it's very, very bright, particularly there. Yeah, if we just head over to this orbital pillar here, as you can see, this map is massive compared to the previous one. But we'll go up to here and get caught up in its gravity, as you can see. Yeah, as you can see, it has kind of messed up the gravity of the orbital systems a little bit. That's partially because the pillars have had to be adjusted. They're a lot taller now than they used to be in order to compensate for the size of the map, and it's kind of broken everything. 1.1 is in progress though, Prototype 1.1. We're sliding down the hill here, and it will fix a lot of these issues, so don't worry too much about this. But yeah, as you can see, it's a bit glitchy. But anyway, so the big thing we've got, if we point ourselves over at that next orbital platform and then hold the G key, we go the complete other way. I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, the idea behind it is that you go to this platform, and you then point at another platform, you hold the G key, and you basically transport over there really, really quickly. That was one of the base ideas we had for the orbital system. But it wasn't scrapped, it was more cast aside for more important things earlier in development. But it's now been brought back, and a large amount of the week has been spent. Right, and go. Yeah, there we go. This is how it's supposed to... Ooh. Yeah. I'll explain that bug in a second. But yeah, so as you can see, we're heading over to this orbital platform here. Ooh. And up we go. And then we can point at that big one over there, and off we go. So there are a number of issues with it. The first one is, as you can see here, the player moves too fast for the camera, so the camera can't keep up. So we're just catching up with him now. And then we can glide around here. The other problem, as you saw, was that the player, for some reason, because you've got a point, like the center of the screen has to be right on the platform in order for you to target it. If you are not targeting it and hold G, then the player goes that way, down there. For some reason, myself and another member of the team were working on this problem for quite a while today, and we haven't found a solution as of yet, but it's a work in progress. There's a reason why this is called a prototype. But yeah, so that's the main gist of it. Oh, and also, you can only do the transporting between 2 pillars while you're in orbit. We just slid too far. Basically, when you tap the ground, I'll just get rid of that. When you tap the ground, it's supposed to disable the holding the G transporting system. Unfortunately, that doesn't work because of the problem with it transporting down there when you hold G. I don't know why it happens. But yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do is take you through the code of how the transport system works. So it's actually pretty simple. What we've done is introduced a raycast, and we've also got a few things that we've got to find here. So we've got to find the camera, which is the main camera, the camera target, which is the camera base, the empty game object in front of the camera that we introduced a few prototypes ago. And we then use these here. So if the current target is not null, i.e. if we go here, there it is. Yeah. So if the current target is not nothing, as it says there, then if we're near orbital platform 1, then go in the direction, well, not go in the direction, basically check to see how close we are to orbital platform 1. If we are less than 40 meters or whatever it is away from the orbital platform, and the tag of what we're looking at, the target, what the raycast is saying essentially, the tag of it is orbital, then can transport is true. And if can transport is true and we're holding the G key down, then transform.translate to in the specific direction of the target. And disable gravity, because otherwise you'll be falling to the floor. So what that essentially means is that the player is transform translated to whatever orbital platform they're looking at. Now it is only an orbital platform that the player can transport to. They can't just transport to a random mountain. Yeah, essentially. And each of these is done for the different directions down here, which are the empty game objects on top of the orbital platforms. So orbital platform 1, orbital platform 2, orbital platform 3, and orbital platform 4. And that basically means they can only be transformed or translated to the specific orbital platforms. They can't go to mountains, essentially, as I say. And then we've also got here, if you collide with a platform, i.e. the floor, then can transport is false, and you can't collide with it. So then we've got the raycast itself here, and it sends it out 1,000 in front of you, so wherever the camera is facing is basically whatever you can target. So if the camera looks at an orbital platform, then that is set as the current target, as you can see here. And if it's not looking at an orbital platform, then current target is null. And that's essentially what that does. And that is the main feature of, well, one of the main features of this update. And I believe Unity is frozen. But yeah, that and the new map are the big things of Prototype 1.0. As you can see, they are rather buggy, but 1.1 is in the works. Oh, there we go. And hopefully this will all be fixed by then. I'll just view one final demonstration before we conclude this video here. But yeah, so you get the idea, essentially. They may be a bit broken right now, but the idea itself works. So as you can see down there, the current target is the floor, and so we can't transport to that. And if we head up here, so you can transport suddenly becomes true, and then if we go over platform 1 is the current target, if you can see in the bottom right there, and off we go. This is how it's supposed to work, and hopefully will work in Prototype 1.1. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see that there, the reason flying up, that's a completely different problem. That's to do with the orbital platform. As I said, yeah, the orbital platform being scaled up. That's an easy fix. That'll be done for Prototype 1.1. So yeah, I do apologise for the bugginess of the prototype, but you get the picture essentially. New mechanics, lots of bugs.